Hallo zusammen.
Hello, everybody.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Das ist ja mal super ungewohnt nach so
This
vielen
is
Jahren.
so.
nicht auf einer
I'm
Bühne
not
zu stehen
so used to
und
that,
jetzt
to
hier zu
be
sein.
on stage here
Mein
together
Name
with
ist
you.
Sarah
I'm
Hoffmann.
Sarah
Ich
Hoffmann.
beschäftige mich mit den Themen
I'm
Future of Work,
responsible for future of work, conflict management, and change management. And who are you? I'm Daniel Drexler. I'm dealing with agility and future of work at MHP. Well, this is just amazing how many people are here, and I can see you in the flesh. It's great to have you. And this festival location is also serving a lot of food. It's unbelievable. It's always almost a barbecue party, and I had to think of you because you love to have a barbecue. You are a great chef, and I think you wanted to talk about this. Well, all the time I'm a chef, when I think of chefs, I have to think of large people with chef hats, and I do love barbecues. But what I especially like is that many people come together. They enjoy themselves. They have a great time. They eat a lot. And I'm looking forward to that. And it reminds me of that. It's just like a huge barbecue party here at MHP. MHP is meeting up for a barbecue. And let me take you on a journey here.
Die Reise ist leider
What type of journey is it? It's not as positive as it implies here. It's implied on the picture. It's like this. I had an anniversary meeting with my high school class, and I thought that was great to meet again, like in the old times. Let's have some barbecue together. And we did that. I was part of the organization team. And this is how the whole story started. It started before that, actually. So we had planning. We had to call the school whether we are allowed to meet there. So I ordered the meat at the butcher's. We had tons of vegetables. We sliced them, and we had a program for children. Everything was fine. And then the day arrived. Everybody arrived. It was very nice to see all the people again.
Ja, dann kam Veggie Vera um die Ecke.
And then Veggie Vera came. And who's Veggie Vera? Well, to her, in her opinion, there wasn't enough vegetable variety. And the other person said, well, it's dumb because you ordered the meat with this butcher's, because she's working for this caterer. We could have ordered the meat at their place. So this is how things unfolded. And I thought the longer this evening was, the happier I would be if it were over. So unfortunately, there were, but it wasn't over after the evening was over because we had to do the dishes, and it was a lot. And Peter was also there. Peter was a know-it-all back in the day already, and he was complaining because he had to spend the whole time with his children in this in this bouncy bass castle, so he wasn't quite satisfied. So I see people smiling. Who has ever organized such a party and has felt the same way, roughly?
Ja. Dann habt ihr euch, glaube ich, genauso gefühlt wie ich.
So I think you felt exactly the same way like I did. I was not into any barbecuing anymore. I said the next time someone else does it.
Warum erzähle ich euch das aber? Was ist
Why am I telling you all about all this? So what happened? Well, we, the organization team, we thought, yeah, let's do this, and all the others were just looking forward for a great time, and we managed to not meet the demands of our target group, which is quite unlucky. So at the end, we didn't have enough dialogue. We didn't consider our schoolmates. So in a nutshell, too much burden on too few shoulders, too much meat, too little vegetables, and nobody was really euphoric about the evening. So we brought with us a new approach, an approach that helped me to start loving barbecuing again. And we want to show you this approach. This will help you to have successful barbecues at all times. So those who have read the title knows we talk about co-creation. What is co-creation? Well, it's very simple. It's based on 2 or 4 points. First, we have a stakeholder group that we need to get together. So, for example, my high school year. Then we also have a specific problem. We want to have a great evening. That's a great problem. And we want to have communication on equal footing. So there is no hierarchy in the room. All we want is to have a very nice evening together and to create something together. And this can be a product, a process, or a service. In this case, our barbecue service. Let's go through all the steps again.
Der Drücker funktioniert wunderbar.
Technology is working well. So this process is divided in for involving, finding ideas, understanding, and implementing. Now, what is involving? Involving means we get to know the people that we are working with. We try to learn who we have on board. What do they want?
Das heißt, beim Grillfest auch.
Now with barbecuing, it's all about coming together, and it's about having all of them on board. It's not about the organization team doing all the work. We, in the traditional kickoff, we try to get everybody at the table. And now it's about understanding on the next level. We try to understand their needs. And with Vera, we would have heard at this stage, we know her Instagram profile, what type of vegetables there are and she likes to have. Then it's about finding ideas. And this is where the creative process starts. We brainstorm, we cluster, we prioritize. We try to have everything on the whiteboard and try to find out what we can do for the party. And when we do this for the grill party, well, we have a list. Everybody thinks about the things they want, and at the end, everybody has their own task, and everybody gets a small task rather than the Orga team having all the tasks. And Paula would have said, yes, I know this caterer, maybe they can even do the dishes and the cleaning. Well, I would have liked that. So you see, synergies arise, and co-creation helps us here. And Peter would have said that a bouncy castle is way too dangerous and shouldn't go there. Maybe they should rather pick softballs.
Und dann der letzte Punkt, validieren.
And then the last step is validating. I think many of you know this. It's about feedback, it's about checking, about reviewing as much feedback and as often as possible. And verifying, validating is pretty easy. In real life, we have a barbecue, and at the end, we try to see if everybody's happy. When they go home. This has been the process from the bottom left to top right. So I refound my love for barbecuing. And now the question is, how can we implement this to our work? How can we have great barbecue parties in our daily lives at MHP? Daniel, do you have a response to that? Thanks. I'm extremely delighted that you refound your love for barbecuing. I'm looking forward to your next invitation.
Interessant ist natürlich zu sehen,
it's quite interesting what we just saw.
Anwenden können.
And to find out how we can implement this. So, of course, we didn't reinvent the wheel here. The approach goes back to the early 90s. So you know the entrepreneurs on the left-hand side, or the companies. Lego was one of the first ones. They learned that their products, their toys, were not as popular as before. And they said, well, if people don't want what we produce, well, let's shift the responsibility for what we are producing into those who do know the best. The customer. So co-creation was born. Customers were invited, there were small workshops, and they were just playing. They were just building the things they wanted, and Lego said, well, this could work, let's try to produce this. And it worked. So the products were really popular. They met all the demands, they talked with the stakeholders, the Veras and Peters were all on board. And not only Lego was very successful here. This has also worked for other companies. So that was the greatest honor that this idea was copied across industries, across companies. But at the same time, we see something else. All companies that are listed here have products that we can touch. We can unwrap them, we can do something with them. So some industries might be excluded, and this is where we are, on the other side. So it's our daily work, things we do on a daily basis. We create value with consulting. So in our area, it's quite new. But it fits quite well because we talked about Elena, we heard from Elena and Katharina about agile leadership, and it's changing. And also the self-perception of consultants in a more complex world, in a more speedy world, is changing. So we don't have the time to get to a place to know exactly what the problem is and to know this exactly solution to this one solution. So we have to assume new roles. We are not the absolute expert, but we become a sparring partner. Step by step, we are trying to understand the customer's needs. Where can we adjust? Where the environment is changing. And as a sparring partner, we need to become a trusted advisor.
Dieses Konzept von Co-Creativity,
concept of co-creativity
diese Rolle auszufüllen von einem Trusted
can help us to become such a person,
so
as a trusted advisor. And why are we talking about this? Of course, barbecue is always something that's close to our heart, that's making us euphoric. So we saw at the beginning of last year, we had a client that said, well, we have this one challenge. Many tools were started, the digital enabledness, or we are not enabled digitally, so the typical approach would be, well, we have this one consultant, they can spend this and that months, and they will then find a solution, and we withdraw and find a new solution. But we were delighted that the customer was open. Porsche said, yes, we want to have this co-creative approach and try this out with you. And what did we learn from that? Now, this being enabled with this tool is about organization, it's about culture, it's about leadership, so it's it's not about a fixed numbers of partners, of consultants to send there. We needed more people. We had a specific team for this. This helped us to understand the end client. So we didn't not only talk with those who assigned us, but we also needed to talk with the end consumers. And the result was not only a better project, but also a better product. So we joined hands with our partner, with our client. We were also doing acquisition, sales, and sales. So we achieved way more than we could have done before. So what was our approach here? Sarah already mentioned it in the context of the barbecue, but let me show you how this works in our context of this project of the digital sprint. So in the beginning, involving, like in the barbecue party. So it's all about understanding the roles and assign the burden to the respective shoulders and to find out whether people are into this cooperation. So it also means you need to invest time, but maybe you will have more added value at the end. So setup stage was all about understanding. It was highly necessary to understand what drives our customers. At the end, it was all intrinsically motivated. So they wanted to be enabled digitally to be a part of Porsche. So it was not only about having this small project, but we want to scale something that we can scale. So digital sprint, tried and tested 10 times already, and we had something we could apply even and can stay with us after we are gone. So then it was about the creation process, finding ideas, validating ideas. So again, we sat down with our clients. We have a weekly appointment. We have all the work packages assigned. We have a platform together, and we try to be in this working mode, and it works quite well. And on a regular basis, in this context, we were always validating how does cooperation work, how are we running with our cooperation model. And something that was very important here, assuming roles, understanding the consultant roles, and develop into a trusted advisor. That was a perfect situation. So at this stage, we could show the customer that we understand them, and at the same time, we could give them personal and professional feedback that drives them forward. So So the customer loyalty was strengthened on a permanent basis. So we are working in the same mode this year. So now we need to see how this will develop. Some goals are not clear yet, but co-creation can just help to find new goals. So we are well aware that not every project is suitable for this at any point in time. But at the same time, we have a wish. So a take-home message for you. When the time is right, when you see the right moment and have the right project, maybe you can use this approach, try it, propose it, and maybe suggest, well, let's have a co-creative approach and create more added value that goes beyond the traditional approach. So have a nice barbecue, and thanks for the attention. Enjoy the festival. Bye.